to beginning of a Dacxi dinner. Everyone here knows me, Andrew Spolari. Just letting you know that I'm not a financial planner, as you know. I'm just very experienced in cryptocurrency, and I'm a Dacxi specialist, so I really know how that exchange operates and what it does, and its long-term use case. I'm here to talk a little bit about the markets, what's happening in crypto right now. I'm going to talk about trends of markets, asset trends up and asset trends down. I'm also going to talk about the evolution of crypto over the last sort of 12, 13 years, where we've come from and where we are now and where we're going. And right at the end, I'm just going to talk about the Dacxi wealth platform. Okay? Sounds good? Yep. We'll rock and roll. Who here owns their own home or has an investment property?
So Brady owns.
All right. Perfect. So I think everyone here nearly was an adult. I think Monica might have just missed out. An adult back in 1989, 1990, 1991. Who remembers those days?
I don't remember yesterday.
So back in 1989, we're looking at roughly 20% interest on a home loan. Who remembers those days?
Yeah.
Was that great? Hell no. You know, that was a horrible time. To be a young adult at that time was like there's no way I'm going to get a house loan, that's for sure. Then we go back through to 1984. Sorry, 2000. We had another correction in 2008. The 2008 was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? Was it worse than 1999? 1989? Probably not. There's not as many people. This one got advertised a lot more than this one.
Yeah.
That's all it was. We just got aware, we were more aware of it. Then we had 2014. A mate of mine did most of his super there, did all of his super there. The market's correct. Then we got 2000. 2020. We won't talk too much about 2020, and now we've got 2022. So all these are pretty scary events that we don't want to talk about too much because they're in the past. I really want to focus on the future. So if you've got a house, imagine every time you walk into your house, there's a little display board out the front with all numbers in telling you what your property's worth. Who'd like that? No one would like that. And that's what happens here. So in 89, the property value went down. Then it went up again. 2000, it went down. Then it went up again. Then it went down. Oh, then it went up again. Then it went down. Went up again. That's property. Positive trend. Do you want to see the number? Here or here? Do you care what the number is? Because you're a long-term holder of the property. All you care about is the trend is going up and you're enjoying living in a house. Would that be true?
Yeah.
That's how I look at crypto. So I don't care where we are on this cycle. It's totally irrelevant. Crypto, in my view, is like a house. The big difference is, you got your house, there, you can't sell a bedroom off your house easily. Who's gone for a mortgage on remortgaging their house? Who's done that lately in the last 5 years? It's a headache, isn't it? And it's like you're begging to get equity out of your property. So that's property. So it's hard to get the money out of your property. But with crypto, it's very different. You can go click at any point and sell some of your asset. So if you sold it here, you can buy it back here for less than what you sold it for. You can sell it there and buy it back there. Now, what are the chances of you picking the top and bottom? It's extremely remote that you're going to pick the top and the bottom because we're looking at crypto like a house. So we're looking at it as a long-term investment. It's hodling. Hold onto your coins for the long term until there's a point where you really need the cash, and you cash out a little bit for whatever that is. You know, I know people the other day, they got tight on their credit card, so they sucked out, I think, 10 grand out of their crypto, paid their credit card out. Was that a bad thing?
No.
Did they care where it was? They didn't care. They just needed 10 grand. Should they have sold at the high? They didn't need the money. But they bought here and they sold their 10 grand there. So they win. So who likes that idea? So don't look at the numbers of your crypto fluctuating all day, because what happens now is the volatility in cryptocurrency is enormous right now. It fluctuates like 10 to 15% daily. The general stock market, if it has a 2% correction, the world is ending. For crypto, it's normal to have a 15% fluctuation or volatility in a day. Back in November, which wasn't that far ago, 6-7 months ago, a Bitcoin was worth nearly 90k Australian. Now it's worth 30. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? Who thinks it's a bad thing? You still got your house, you're still enjoying owning the asset. It's a great thing that it's sitting at 30k, in my opinion. Because I can actually go out and build an extension on my house cheaper. Because I can buy more at 30 than I could at 90, can't I? That's like dollar cost averaging. So if you paid $25,000 for a Bitcoin, which some of you guys did, and now it's sitting at 30, but you know it was 90, you can buy some more and your average price will go up. Or if you paid 60 or 70 or 80 grand per Bitcoin, you can buy it at 30 and averages your coin price down. So this is the way, times like this is where you can actually make your asset bigger for less money. So who thinks that's a good idea? Because with every trend, we've got a very positive trend in cryptocurrency. It's very positive. So we could be anywhere along this timeline here. So whatever you pay for your Bitcoin, you know that the next cycle is going to go up above that. Because that's just trading. That's what happens in trading. There's very strict rules around trading. I'm not going to go into all the words and stuff like that, explain trading cycles. But whatever the previous high was, it'll dip down, have a correction, and the next high will be higher than the previous high. So is it scary to look at your account now, or exciting, knowing the next cycle is about to start? So when people look at their balances, this number up here, all they should be really looking at is the house and how big you want to add to it. Does that add some clarity to what's happening right now in the market and your account balances and what's happening with the trends? Does that help? Perfect. I'll send the video to you.
I'm just joking.
I'll send the video to you. Watch it at half speed.
I just thought
That's okay, we got a few here. Because Andrew didn't want to say it. So what I want to explain now is why Bitcoin's gone from 90 down to 30. Everyone wants to know why.
because of the war.
Partially. There's a lot of factors to do with why. The beginning is governments. I shouldn't say government's policy. So there's a thing called QE, quantitative easing. Print money. So since 2000, and especially since 2008, the governments are exponentially printing money to stimulate the economy, thinking that's a good thing to do. So that's quantitative easing. So the more money they print, the less value you get out of the money. So who's bought fuel lately? Ouch. You know, $100, 45 litres. Whereas 12 months ago, $100 got you, 70 litres. That's what this QE's done. Real estate prices. If you had that little box thing happening at the moment, you should be just jumping for joy, clicking your heels, walking inside, because property values have gone up 40 to 50% in the last couple of years. All that stuff's not sustainable, because as soon as this government turn the tap off, what happens to the economy? It tanks. Right? Just go, ooh. So what the government are realising now, that it's not acceptable that you had a $3.50 a lettuce and now you're paying $12. That's not right, is it? So to slow down the economy, what they're going to do is lift up the official interest rates. So that's a good idea, isn't it? So you're going to pay more for your home loan, you're still going to pay your $12 a lettuce, and then pay more for your mortgage. Who thinks that's a good deal? No, that's what these guys think it is a good deal. It slows the economy down, but all it really does, it slows down people's ability to borrow money to buy a house that's overpriced or shares that are overpriced, and you still pay the money for your lettuce. So quantitative easing and interest rates have had a big effect on this price. Because the cryptocurrency world sits outside of the normal financial system, so it's like a store of value outside of their system. So the more crypto's worth, the less the actual money that you're using is worth. But we've had a correction. So they've slowed down quantitative easing, so people can't overinflate real estate and stock prices like they were, because the stock market has gone through the roof, and of course we're a tradable asset, so we go up with it. And they've just jacked up interest rates in Australia by 0.5%, which is bad. And I didn't hear what the American was last week, so I apologise for that. But accessing cheap money is getting harder. So that scared the market, which had a bit of a movement down as well. Then you've got the debacle over in Europe, and the misinformation about oil prices and food prices and access to stuff. That's all a bit of a misdemeanor, really, because nothing's really changed for us here, but we're being affected by that. So again, uncertainty in the market has pushed the prices down as well. On top of those two pretty bad things, you've got continuing mandates, lockdowns and all that craziness from 2000 still affecting us now. A month ago there was a project called Terra Luna, and they had their own coin, and they had a stable coin like US dollar or something like that. It was in cryptocurrency. Because there was a big drop, the whole system just collapsed. And there was like $50 billion got sucked out of cryptocurrency world. So again, that scared a lot of investors. So they weren't focusing on their house, they were looking at the asset that they own, and got scared and they sold the assets. That pushed the price down. Last week we had the official rates go up, so that affected the market a little bit last week specifically. And because the market's been dropping down, there's another company called Celsius, which do a lot of loans. And most people that were using that system were borrowing money off this company called Celsius and buying more crypto with it. And they're borrowing more money and buying more crypto with it, because they'd give Celsius their crypto. So it's like a big whirlpool going downwards, not upwards. So people were over-leveraged themselves, and when the market's priced, they said, well, you need to give us more equity. But they were jammed up so hard against their loan that they couldn't come up with equity, so there was bad loans going to Celsius. And that's what's really pushed the market to where it is now, and we don't know where that floor is going to be. We don't know the effect on the confidence of traders, confidence of cryptocurrency. That's why the price of Bitcoin has gone down, and Bitcoin gets affected less than the other coins. the altcoins. Ethereum and all the other 19,000 coins get affected a lot more as a percentage than your main market driver, which is BTC. Now, does that mean the world's going to end? We're just in a cycle. This one's a bit of a dip. That's all it is, just a cycle. If you are looking at your house, looking at your asset, don't care about the price today, you know the asset is going to rebound and you'll be back in wherever you were before. And even more, because the cycle will continue to keep on going on. So does that help understand why we've had a big drop of price and why your portfolios look like they're a bit tattered? Does that help? Perfect. Andrew?
Yeah, just to add to that, it's also Shemaiah for a year as well. I don't know if you ever heard of Shemaiah, but so every 7 years, been going back from biblical times, so every 7 years they've got a financial sort of, like Andrew was saying, the cycles, and those years that you had up there before tied into all those Shemaiahs. So we're due for another one, and it usually goes from September to the following September. So they're saying, yeah, come September, like, we're probably in for a full-on recession, or it's probably going to even go down. The market's going to go down even more, you know. So it's just a matter of just keep holding.
Look after your house. Don't worry about the price. If you want to trade a little bit, then that's your choice. You've got to fit in with your risk profile, what you're happy to do with whether you want the headache of selling now, buying more later, or say, look, just leave it do its thing. We'll worry about that later. Okay, so that's a good point. Like, interest rates are 7-year cycles.
Yeah, it's all by design.
You know, you get 5% 7 years ago, and we go down to 0.5%, and then another 3.5 years it goes up to 5% again, or whatever the interest rates are. There's a cycle. It's been doing it for years, and that's what it's cyclical. So what I want to explain now is the evolution of cryptocurrency. Because it's really important to understand where we are going with this thing called cryptocurrency. So when Bitcoin came out in 2008, you could probably say that was Bitcoin, cryptocurrency is 1.0. Right? It was just used as a currency, but it wasn't really technically able to achieve that. Okay, so just a couple years later, there was a thing called Litecoin that came out. And that's Crypto 2.0. So this is all about currency. Using your crypto as money. So that's what Litecoin was. There's a lot of other coins that are actually used at transferring value or money through cryptocurrency around the world. So that's that second component. So we use that still a lot now. This here has evolved over to the Lightning Network. And that makes Bitcoin a lot more functional as a currency. So a lot of companies, a lot of countries now are using the Lightning Network as a currency using Bitcoin. It's just really fast, cheap transfer of this thing here. This is really slow and clunky and expensive. This makes it more into a currency. Okay, so we still use this 2.0 cryptocurrency model. And we go over to and this is what we're still doing this, but we're moving over to systems, or what they call the Web 3. So who uses a website now? Like every half a minute you check a website, don't you? Maybe 30 seconds? Maybe that's the same thing. So Web 3 is the evolution of the internet. So people will be able to put their websites, all their search engines, everything they can do through this new system connecting the world to each other. So it's away from the Googles, the Apples, the operating system, the Microsoft. So it gives us more options and more freedom. So we're just evolving into this now. So this is becoming a really big part of cryptocurrency, which is really exciting because we need it. We need a bit more freedom and choice, don't we? So we still play here. We're really moving into this area here. But what really excites me is tokenization, which is 4.0. This is where the big money is. This has just become a store of value, digital gold. There's so much money floating around the world that eventually more money will flow through crypto than the other world, especially when countries are actually evolving over to their national currency being a cryptocurrency. So that's just currency. This will take over the internet. A lot of value there, but not the really big money. This is where the huge money is involved with tokenizing securities, tokenizing your house. So you don't need a deed anymore. You've got a cryptocurrency token that represents ownership of your house, or part of a house, or a company like Apple or Amazon or Google or Tesla. They'll all become tokenized assets. Gold, silver, platinum are already tokenized through the Dacxi platform. This is where there's literally trillions and trillions of dollars will be unlocked using tokenization. And that's really exciting because the Dacxi exchange is actually a company that's going to be tokenizing securities, not the securities that are already out there. So NAB, ANZ, ASX, NASDAQ, the FTSE, all those big companies, the Singapore Stock Exchange, they're all going to tokenize their assets that they have in their books already. So the big boys are going to do their own exchanges that are going to be looking after tokenized assets that are already public assets. Well, what Dacxi is going to be doing is crowdfunding, startup, for tokens. So the Dacxi community will get access to startup opportunities that have been vetted, that are securities, and we're going to turn them into tokens. So 10%, 20%, whatever percentage of that funding represents ownership of a security. Whereas the whole rest of the world playing here, they're issuing tokens for tech companies or cryptocurrencies that they're not actually securities. So Dacxi is going to be feeding this whole system because in order for a startup to move up to the ASX, it needs money. So we provide the money for that company to grow, and then that company goes up into the big boys world with the ASX or the NASDAQ or the FTSE or all the other big exchanges. So this provides the startup money for those companies to become successful. So like I said before, it's going to be pretty hard to get a loan, isn't it? And it'll be pretty critical to get a loan through Dacxi too, or get some of your funding through Dacxi, because there'll be 3 levels of due diligence, except we, normal people, not the big boys, but normal people will have access to these startup opportunities, buying tokens to give those startup opportunities enough money to grow so that they can evolve up into the big world of funding through the national stock exchanges. So this is the evolution of cryptocurrency. That's why I've always been excited about the Dacxi exchange, because even though that I got involved with crypto back here, I knew about this. And then I seen the Web3 stuff come along and I went, that's even more exciting because we're getting closer to releasing this. And all the big money people around the world are talking about tokenized securities now. So the conversation is really playing in the people who are really wealthy. That conversation is playing in the wealthy circles now, but we'll never hear about it unless we come out for a Dacxi dinner. So you'll miss it because you're not playing in those hundreds of millions and billions of dollar circles. So Dacxi will allow normal people to get involved with startups so the really rich can get involved with the tokens that we already own. Except we pay bugger all for them. They grow in value, and these guys are going to pay market value, whatever that market value is, at the time that it gets listed up there. So do you see the evolution of what's going on here? Who wants to be here now? People aren't ready for it. The tech isn't ready for it. So later this year the Dacxi chain comes out, which is great. That'll be the tech. People get excited about that. They want to get involved with the tech. They really love the concept of what we're doing, but they want to see more evidence. So they're sitting back, which is okay because we get a chance to buy cheaper coins, because when they start seeing it, what's going to happen to the price? It's going to go up. More people know about it, more people understand it, more people like it, the price is going to go up because more people will buy it. And next year, depending on price and a few other variables, depends what's happening with the real world, we start funding some startups. So again, more people will go, well, look, actually they're doing it now. They're not just promising it. It's not a guesswork. They're actually doing it. So what's going to happen to the coin price there? It's going to go up again. And it will continue to go up when Dacxi opens up all their exchanges all over the world, interconnected using the Dacxi technology, the Dacxi chain, all listing tokenized securities in that startup field. This story here hasn't changed since I got involved with Dacxi. That's why I got involved with Dacxi back in 2017. That conversation was alive 5 years ago. Now people are starting to talk about it. When they start talking about it, they create it. You know, when you talk about something, you bring it to life. So the more people talk about this, the more it becomes real to the world. And that's happening right now. So this will still be going. Bitcoin will be a store of value, and there'll be currency as well. This is going to change the internet forever in a good way. And this is where the big money is. So you guys have had an inside run at where the big money is coming from whenever you opened up a Dacxi account in the last 5 years. So does that help clarify what's going on there? I think so. What I want to talk about now is specifically the Dacxi Wealth Platform. Okay, so when you got involved with crypto for the first time, there was only this word called exchanges out there. That's all that was out there. Exchanges only made money on fees. So they wanted you to trade. They wanted you to buy your coin today, sell it this afternoon, and buy it, sell it, buy it, sell it, buy it, sell it. Who here wants to do that? I don't know too many people that will want to do it. I don't know many people that actually can do it successfully. So this is what exchanges normally do. But Dacxi is actually a wealth platform. That's what we are. So these guys here, they can list 100, 500 coins, tokens, and you can buy and sell them on a daily basis, back and forth, back and forth. They don't care what token they put on there, as long as there's a big community that's going to trade those coins. That's all they care about. They don't care if they're good coins, bad coins, scary coins, scam coins. They don't care. All they care about is the size of the community that that coin brings into their exchange. Because it's just money and trading. They don't care about the use case, any of that stuff. The stuff that we care about, they don't care about that. But with a wealth platform, it's very different. Now, Dacxi's being designed for literally over 50s. Really easy to open up an account, really easy to buy and sell, really easy to keep you verified. We did a verification earlier tonight. Wasn't that hard, was it? While you're drinking your drink, you verify yourself. So it's not that hard to work the Dacxi exchange. So it's easy. These here are very complicated. Over here, we've got support in the way of Dacxi specialists, people that know everything that you need to know. And if you've got a question, you can see a specialist and they'll help you through that, or they can get the problem resolved faster. So you get a lot of support, and also you've got admin support as well on top of that, and that's email support. If you want to talk to someone, someone can actually help you with your account, help you with understanding about what's going on in crypto or what's going on with your account. Then you have community, which is important, like Dacxi dinners, like webinars, like meetups, and basic the chats and stuff like that. So if you've got a problem or you want to know something, there's someone. We can meet like-minded people online and become friends online. We can come out for dinner and learn a bit about crypto and meet like-minded people. I know there's a lot of people who come to these meetings and they go out and have a coffee with the person they've met there because they're like-minded. Who thinks that's a good idea? It's really powerful. I think that's really powerful as well. The tax is a headache in cryptocurrency. There's so many variables. So what Dacxi is providing is very good tax support. Okay, at the moment it's pretty good. In the next 3 months, it'll be exceptional. So that's fantastic. There's Learn. If you want to understand a little bit more about cryptocurrency, take responsibility for understanding the industry, what you're involved in, what you're investing in, learn.dacxi.com is a free site to go in and learn about crypto. But they're all short videos, some questionnaires, so you make sure it reinforces what you're learning. Don't just, it's not watching Netflix, there's actually a little test at the end of it, so you can learn about that, and that's free, part of a wealth platform. And the last thing they're doing is earn. So you get paid to lock your coins into Dacxi for a month, 2%. So they're all part of the wealth platform. Now these are pretty good. These are pretty good things. Who likes that stuff? But the best thing about this is this is where the money is, in the crowdfunding. That's why you're involved with Dacxi, because you want to get involved with the crowdfunding. Some people say to me, I'm never selling my Dacxi coin. Well, literally, I want you to sell your Dacxi coin. Because I want you to buy the Steve token, the Elaine token, the Andrew token. We want you to sell your Dacxi coin for one of the startup crowdfunding tokens. Get those crowdfunding moving, get those companies funded, make those companies successful because they've got enough money to actually launch. You make money, the company makes money, we build the economy, and that economy starts to boom again. Who thinks the economy needs a good kick in the ass? Who thinks next year is going to get worse? It's not looking pretty at the moment for the economy. So we can be part of that economic growth of Australia, of Vietnam, of France, of the UK, of America. We can be part of that because we've got a system that's globally crowdfunding startup opportunities. Economies only grow with startup companies starting and running and growing. The economy is not growing out of Google anymore. They've topped out. The economy is not growing out of Facebook anymore. They've topped out. They've done their growth cycle. We can provide funding here and truly become wealthy using a platform designed to give you everything you need to do to learn about wealth, to be wealthy, to associate with wealthy people, all part of a wealth platform. Now, does that cost you money to be involved with that? Yep, it does. Who plays tennis, golf, netball, volleyball,
archery,
football, archery? It's free to go to archery, isn't it? You just go there and pay nothing. Everyone pays membership for everything they do. So Dacxi has got a membership fee because you're part of a complete system to help you transform where you are now financially to being truly financially free because you've got knowledge, intuition, and an opportunities. The Dacxi is going to charge you $1 a month plus 0.95% of your whole portfolio to access all these benefits. because they care and they're not relying on fees to keep alive. Because these guys are in trouble now, big trouble. The biggest 5 exchanges in the world have got so much money. They could come into Australia and sponsor the NRL completely, flood the market with the message like they do in America, Crypto.com, and then all the smaller exchange people, they go over because it's cheaper trading fees to go to the biggest exchanges in the world. So these exchanges here are having a lot of problem now because people aren't trading anymore because the market's gone down at the moment. There's no liquidity, no new money going in, there's no trading happening. So these fellas here are in trouble. Whereas Dacxi's not playing that game. They're a completely different game. They're not really in crypto. They're in tokenized assets using blockchain. That's what they're doing. So that's our world. Who would prefer to be in the trading world? Or who would prefer to be in Dacxi? And this is the evolution, like I said before, Crypto 4.0. This is where we are moving fast. The biggest players in the world is moving there, and we are moving there as well. It all depends on leverage. So now we have an opportunity. I know most people here paid more than 0.003 per coin. Who paid more than that? Everyone did, pretty much. All right? So now you've got a chance to dollar cost your price down by getting more coins. Because I did a webinar the other day. If 50,000 US dollars went into buying the Dacxi coin on HitBTC, just 50,000 US dollars. That's not a lot of money, is it? That price there would have gone up to 1 cent. 50k. The whole world is very low liquidity at the moment now, so we've got a low liquid market, so a little bit of money coming in has a really big effect on the price. It could have dropped back down again straight away, or someone else with 20, 30, 40k could have kept the price back up again. So we're at such low levels, a little bit of money affects the price very positively. The problem is, if you've got those coins there and you transfer them over to here, when it's at $1, you can buy a lot more crowdfunding tokens because you've only spent a little bit and it's gone up. So whether it's $1, 30 cents, 10 cents, whatever it is, it's going to be more than what you put in. We're going to leverage what you've done here over in the crowdfunding area as well. And then you'll have a headache. Because if you've kept dark, quiet, not engaged in crypto, you haven't done any learning, you won't know whether this idea is better than what you've got here. Because you haven't taken responsibility for your own financial knowledge. So take advantage now, over the next 12 months, learn as much as you can about crypto, about money, where it came from, about finances. Just watch a couple videos here or there a week. Engage in learning, and what will happen is you'll see an idea, you'll see the Elaine coin, and go, yeah, I want that. It feels right to me. Because you've got some knowledge here, giving you good intuition here to make a decision that aligns with your risk profile. So that's what I really want you to take home tonight. Take responsibility for your learning. Get all the benefits out of the Dacxi platform that you can, because you're paying a membership. Steve goes up to the archery club every Sunday. Pays a membership, he's getting value out of it. If I paid my membership, went there once a year, am I getting good value out of it? No. This is a membership. Except you're not costing you any money, you're actually making money out of this membership. You've probably made more investments in your bow than you have in crypto. But that's the way the world is. So you understand where you are in the world of crypto now? Has anyone got any questions of what I've gone through tonight so far?
Yeah, so just with the crowdfunding, so if someone had an idea, so you'd go on this wealth platform and you put your idea out there. And
Yeah, so what will happen, the process for actually getting your idea funded, it's simple but not easy. So simply means you'd have to go out and get a prospectus, a business plan, that all goes through an accountant, whatever, so you get your documentation in order, that goes to another company which assesses it to make sure it's right. Then that will go to the Dacxi admin crowdfunding team. They would make an assessment, and their assessment will be, is it a good idea or a bad idea? Is it going to make money or not? And if they believe it's going to make money and it's a good idea, we get a notification saying that the Andrew coin is now available for you to exchange your Dacxi coin for the Andrew coin on the Dacxi exchange. Except Andrew could be in Australia, it could be in France, it could be in Brazil, it could be in Pakistan, it could be all over the world. We get a notification saying that the Andrew token is now available through all the interconnected Dacxi platforms globally. How quickly do you think your funding is going to happen? Because you can only take 5 million in Australia. That'll be like that. You know, in New Zealand, it's $2 million. You think there's smart people living in New Zealand? There's smart people in Australia, there's smart people in Pakistan, there's smart people all over the world. They're looking for a system to get funding from. Well, the Dacxi ecosystem will provide that road for you to fund into projects all over the world. And the same process, the same system is there as it is here. Because Dacxi has got a vested interest in making that company successful. They're just not listing coins because they've got a big community. This is the community, this is value. Very different mindset.
So when's crowdfunding starting?
Well, it depends on price. Really, depends on price. You want to crowdfund at 0.003. So when the price is at a level that you can do some crowdfunding, it'll happen. And they've said it should be like that next year, 2023.
And is the Dacxi coin looking on to going on any other exchanges, or?
When the community is big enough,
Yeah.
we'll only go on to tier 1 exchanges. We've had many opportunities to go on to tier 2 exchanges and tier 3 and tier 4. Like every day there's another exchange will list our coin and bring our community over. But Dacxi has got no interest in listing on any other exchanges except tier 1. And they'll list on tier 1 when the amount of community will add value to the tier 1 exchanges. So if you're into Twitter, there's over 90,000 people follow Dacxi on Twitter now. So that community is really building because Dacxi, up until 12 months ago, was focused on you, on the community getting benefits out of that. 12 months ago, they shifted their focus from you guys to these guys, traders. And they've been advertising to traders for 12 months. That's why you don't see it in the Cairns post about Dacxi. Because they're advertising and writing articles, and all their whole approach is to build this trader community so we can get listed on a tier 1 exchange. And that's where the big value is going to come out of people trading the Dacxi coin, because they'll trade it, but they'll also know that this is our long-term use case. We've got 5 years worth of history. Good track record, good management. It's been working really well, except we just need to build that community now, the trading community, to get the value up so that crowdfunding is successful and easy. Then we're off and running. You put 5 projects over here, this thing will explode. This proof of concept has been proven, it'll go crazy. And you guys are involved with that world. Simply because you've got Dacxi coin on the Dacxi exchange. So thank you very much for coming tonight, I really appreciate it. If you'd like me to come back in a couple of weeks, I'm happy to do that. We just need more people here. So if you know anyone that's in Dacxi that should have been here and listened to this, please invite them along. The meal's great, I think the venue's great. So I'll look forward to catching you guys in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you very much.